so much for joining me on my program once again. I appreciate you wherever you're joining me from. I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Accept my greeting according to your time zone. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please kindly subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell so that you'll be notified anytime I upload a video. You can be among the first to receive it. Then go to the comment section at all times. Leave your comment, drop your contribution. If you have suggestions, make it out there. If you have any criticism, put it down on the comment section. It will make us to get better, presenting you a better program. Thank you.
You're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome. Please share the broadcast on your platform, share on your WhatsApp group, share any place you belong. Thank you so much for joining. Everyone that is joining me, please, as you join, you share the broadcast so that we can be able to reach as many people as possible. This is our mission. It is our responsibility, you and I, to make sure that we preach this gospel to everybody. We will not allow them to stop us, no matter how they try to stop us, no matter how they try to cage us. We will not allow them to cage us. We will continue to send out this message to the whole world, to let them know what is happening, to let them know what our point of view is, to let them know what our stand is. We can never allow them to play these pranks on us. We can never allow them to deceive us, neither shall we allow them to continue to push their lies against us. That is why we come online on a daily basis to speak to Biafran people, to encourage each other, so that we can be able to overcome the attack that is coming. If you are watching from Biafra land, if you are watching from Asia, you are watching from Europe, you are watching from America, you are watching from Australia, from Canada, you are watching from New Zealand, whichever part of the world you are watching from, I say, may Chukwu Okike Abiama continue to guide and protect you. May Chukwu Okike Abiama continue to strengthen you. May Chukwu Okike Abiama continue to be your stronghold. Do not allow anybody to confuse you or deceive you. We must continue until Biafra is restored. We must continue. Please keep sharing. Share to people that they may join us. You know the attack we are facing. So if you don't share, it's going to be difficult for us to reach the many people we are supposed to reach. We must continue. Thank you for joining. Thank you for participating. Thank you for queuing in into this very broadcast today. As you know, what we do here is to encourage fellow Biafrans. We come here to state our case to the world. We come here to make it known to the world. And I can tell you, can bet you that today, we are not only speaking, the whole world today is seeing everything that you and I have been crying about and be saying. It is continuing to unfold every day. And we don't have to relent in our effort. We must continue doing what we are doing. We must continue holding our ground. We must continue sensitizing people, Biafran people and Biafran friends and the world at large. We must continue to sensitize them about the situation in the zone. Today you see the drama that is unfolding. You see the drama that is unfolding. We have known that this is what they will do. We have known it right from time. Even these people that are complaining today, pretending to be shouting on different platforms and holding their heads, all these celebrities and all these criminals, politicians that are pursuing their self-interest, they know very well what is playing out today will happen. They knew. It didn't start today. And it's not going to end today. As long as the zoological republic called Nigeria continue to be together, as long as Nigeria continue to exist, you will continue to see this kind of atrocities you are seeing today. As long as Nigeria remains, you will continue to see this kind of fraud you are seeing today. It will continue to happen. It is so shameful. Even the electoral chairman, what they call the INEC chairman, doesn't care. He talks to people with sarcasticity, he doesn't care. He doesn't care what your suggestion is. He doesn't really want to know. It has come to the extent that even the people who were called to come and monitor their fraudulent activities are now speaking up. They have no choice. They have no choice. But I tell you, every achievement that has been made today is because of the auto-piloted IPOB. Whatever you are seeing today, we are still waiting for them. We are still waiting for them to engage, for them to move on. Since they feel they can be able to get at their fraud, they should go on and get it. But I can tell you, every single one of them that participated in that election, they all practice one malpractice or the other. They all displayed one malpractice or the other. Every single one of them, all those major actors you see, ranging from Peter Obi to Atiku Abubakar to Tinubu, they all manipulated the result. Every one of them, they manipulated the result in one way or the other. And that is how bad the Zoological Republic is. It doesn't matter how you try to paint it. It doesn't matter. Let me tell you, the major problem we are seeing is that some people prefer their own thief. They will see a criminal, but because that criminal favors them, because that criminality of that criminal favors them somehow, they begin to love that criminal. That is what you see in the contraption called Nigeria. And that is why we must not allow that contraption to continue to exist. Because it breeds fraudsters. It breeds criminals. That is what that contraption breeds. When you see them, they are not going to tell you how sincere and perfect they are. Engage them in argument. They are not going to tell them how okay, how truthful their candidate is. They will only begin to give you example of another candidate who is much more fraudulent than their own. So they prefer to settle with a less fraudulent person than a more fraudulent person. And they forgot that that fraudulent activity you see graduates from time to time according to the post where you reach to. The more they grow in a position, the more they increase their fraud activities. The only way you can be able to end fraud is to disintegrate the Zoological Republic, this contraption, break it into pieces. Let every single regional section go their separate ways. Conduct a referendum. Conduct a referendum. Conduct a referendum. Let people make their choice what they want. If at the end of the day, the people choose to remain in this contraption, so be it. Even we that we are asking for Biafra, if our people decide to be part of this very contraption, we have no choice. We allow them. But as long as you have not given people opportunity to make that decision, you have not given people the opportunity to demonstrate their democratic right by themselves, make up their mind and decide on what they want. We cannot stop asking for the end of the contraption. And we cannot stop fighting to free ourselves. We don't want to be part of that very evil. It doesn't matter who the fraudster is. It doesn't matter if the fraudster is my brother, my uncle, my auntie, my sister, my elder, my benefactor. As long as you are a fraudster, you are a fraudster. It must be called out. You don't have to accept criminality simply because the criminal is from your own lineage. You don't have to accept criminality simply because the criminal activity of that person favors you. You don't have to condone or accept criminality simply because the criminal involved somehow has a relationship with you. But that is what we see in the contraption called Nigeria. When you engage these people who are shouting and talking on different platforms today, engage them personally, you see that they are not talking about having a sane nation. They are ready to settle with a less criminal-minded person. That is what they want. They are not ready to eradicate. When you hear about corruption, they are not. As long Nigeria itself is corruption itself. Eradication corruption means ending Nigeria. That's what it means. When you hear that somebody wants to eradicate corruption, anybody that wants to eradicate it is the person who is calling for the end to the Zoological Republic called Nigeria. That is the only way you can eradicate corruption, by ending it. If you don't end it, the contraption called Nigeria itself is corrupt. Its name is corruption, and there is no how you will be in it. Run any affair in it. Participate in the election. Participate in anything that has to do with it. That you will not be corrupt. You will, and you must be corrupt. The corruption has eaten so deep. They are eating so deep that as they are growing old, they are recruiting new people to replace them. As the corrupt people are growing old, they are bringing new people to replace them. And that is how they are producing more sophisticated way to perform their fraudulent activities. And when you engage them, they will tell you and begin to give you example of people who are more fraudulent than they themselves. They will begin to choose those who are less fraudulent. They don't talk about eradicating the fraud. They don't talk about eradicating criminality. They only want to settle down with that criminal who is from their own region. They want to settle down with that criminal who speaks their own language. They want to settle down with that criminal that is of their own religion. That is how bad it is in the contraption. The destructive diversity you see in the contraption, that is what is playing out today. When we talk about the destructive diversity, that's what is playing out. That is why in the face of the whole world, INEC chairman will sit on the result that the whole world are seeing and wanting. He will see it and stand on it, shut people down. You ask a question, he will not respond to you. He is doing that because he is protecting the interests of his own region. That is how bad it is. It is because some people want to make a statement. That is why you will go and write a result. In Biafra land, where we know that the election did not hold. In Biafra land, where we saw on video, people were sitting at home, nothing was conducted, yet you went and filled the gap. When you went and wrote result for your own region, in your own place, and you think that the Fulani man will fold his hand and begin to watch you, they only kept quiet. Because as you are writing your own result, they are busy writing their own also. They have the INEC. As you are writing your result, they see it and they pretend not to see it. Waiting for you to speak. And when you speak, they will not tell you that that thing you are doing is exactly what they themselves do. And they know it's better than you do. You see how bad it is. Every single contender in this election, the major contenders, the Labour Party, the APC, the PDP, they all wrote results for each other. They did, in one way or the other. They practice manipulation in one way or the other. There is malpractice in every single one of them. None is exempted. But people choose to settle down with a lesser demon. That's what it is. That's what it is. That's what they are saying today. And there are evidence to every one of them, the crime they have committed in one time or the other. And it is because the INEC chairman knows very well that even these people who are calling him out are not clean. He knows. He has the information. We are here when they gave us places where election will not hold. And you went back and began to fill in those gaps where they said election will not hold. In Biafra land where there are lockdown, you wrote them as people voted. And the INEC chairman was watching you. You think he will fold his hand and not protect his own region. When you talk about self-preservation, you have forgotten that Fulanis are number one. They are number one. They will do everything to preserve themselves, let alone when you have given that loopholes. You see why we don't want to be part of this fraud. You see why we say we do not want to legitimize this fraud. But because so many of you in that contraption, you were born in it, you grew in it, you were trained in it, and you have taken it as a system that works for you. You have been in it for so long that it's beginning to look to you that this is the perfect way. You have been in the fraud so much for too long that the fraud have begun to look normal to you. Fraud has begun to look normal to Nigerians. You saw the video I posted before I come online from Arise Television, the woman that was making summary. When you listen to the summary of that woman, every single thing she summarized is what our supreme leader Mazen Nandekano have been shouting and crying about. Everything she concluded and summarized was the same thing Mazen Simon Ekpa was crying about. That they came together, connived, write letter and say go and arrest him. The same thing the autopiloted IPOB is crying and shouting on a daily basis. That was what that woman summarized. But at the end of the day, they want to settle down with the lesser demon. It is not that that person, it's not that the person they want to settle down is not a fraudster. He's also a fraudster, a criminal too. But they want to settle down with a lesser criminal. If not, are you going to tell me that you don't know that every single party in this very election got it wrong? They got it wrong. They got it wrong. And the Fulani people were just watching you, waiting you where they're waiting you, because they know that definitely you're going to make that mistake and they will cash it into it. Don't worry. Mahmoud will stand up and tell you that that thing you accuse him of, you did the same thing also. And he will give you more evidence that you can have. He has more evidence than you do. The annex chairman, the chief fraudster, has evidence more than you. You see why we don't want to be. The only solution remains that very solution that Mazen Nanikano gave. Referendum for the people. Stay away from election. Don't participate. Let go of it. And demand for your freedom. That is the only solution. But because you have dwelt in that fraud so long, you are so scared of the unknown. You don't know what you're going to meet. And because of that, you are so scared to stand out and stand on your own. You are so scared to take that bold step. How long will you remain in this complaint? How long will you continue to manage something that you know that will not work? Is it not yet time for you to be free? Why do you want to hand over this criminality to your unborn children? Why do you want to hand over this very calamity to the next generation? Why do you want to continue to manage something that you know that cannot be managed? You are playing with the life of innocent people. Today it has become evidence. Some of them that has conscience have started confessing already. They say they've lost hope. Some of them have started confessing. Meanwhile, some are still pretending. Some are still pretending. But it doesn't matter how you pretend. The truth will always be the truth. The truth will be the truth. Every single drama you are seeing today, they are the reasons why we are doing what we are doing. When Pa Ayadabenjo told you that you must first of all, get involved in restructuring, throw away the 1999 constitution before ever you can talk about election. Conduct a referendum first. That's a man of 95 to 96 years old speaking. He saw it all. He has seen it all. He was there from the origin, right from independence. He was there. And he's telling you the way forward. And nobody paid attention. They didn't listen to him. You never listened. Because you were still ready to settle with lesser evil. You were still ready to settle with lesser evil. And today, you can see the enemy staring at you on your face. You can see the audacity of the Fulani Caliphate. They don't care what you want to say, what you want to do. They will rig it so, they will so rig the election in a very clear manner that the whole world will know that it's rigged. And yet, you can't do anything. There's nothing you can do. They've already started telling you to go to court. And you know what your court system is in the zoo. They have started telling you, go to court. If you're not satisfied, go to court. And you and I know what their court is. The court is in their pockets. We have seen the court remove people that won election and give it to people who didn't participate at all. So how do you think this one will be different? When you are dealing with a man who is ready to buy the presidency with his soul. He has stolen so much money that he doesn't care spending all of it for his ambition. Evil ambition. You must wake up. Biafrans, we must continue to move until we get to our promised land. Don't allow anybody to tell you otherwise. Attack will continue to come. Propaganda will continue to come. Blackmail will continue to come. People will continue to distract you. You will continue to receive some false information and all that. Distract us everywhere. But don't get distracted. I bet you. We are going home. Yes, we will go home. For those who don't want to be part of it, good luck to them. Whatever happens to them, they will be responsible for it, not us. We have fought a good fight. We have fought a good fight. And today, the whole world can testify to all that I've been saying all this while. They can testify that yes, we are the good guys.